Do you feel trapped? Do you feel stuck in life? Or have you ever felt trapped? Like you're stuck in the same patterns on repeat, or on the repeat cycle over and over and over again. It's a dark place to be, almost as if you're locked as a prisoner in your own mind with the thoughts there that you have. You keep falling back into the same situations, the same kinds of relationships, and you feel hopeless and powerless and maybe even depressed. How do you get out of something like this? How do you get out of living a life like this where you feel trapped all the time? There's got to be a way to escape it. There's got to be a key that unlocks that door to find hope and freedom again. But where? Where do you find this key? What if I told you that the key already exists within you and you have it? You just need to find it and use it. The great Persian poet Hafiz once said, "The words you speak become the house you live in." So, what kind of house do you live in? I'm not talking about how big of a house. I'm not talking about where it's located or how many bedrooms. I'm not talking about anything that this house looks like. I'm asking about the house you live in. What kind of house do you live in? Once upon a time, there was a woman who really struggled in life. She had been living in and out of depression for years, and she was very sad because she'd never felt that she was living up to the potential for what she came here in life to be. That was really hard. It was hard on her. It was hard on her relationships. It was hard on her children. She felt trapped, and she felt so disappointed with how her life was turning out. No matter what she did, there was always a feeling that it didn't matter, that she didn't matter, and that she was not ever going to be enough. She had an unhealthy marriage. There was yelling and screaming and anger and pain, and she dealt with this cycle of poverty. Some days just feeling like she had to do what she had to do to survive. She was not able to show up as her best self. And eventually, her marriage fell apart, as did her family and the world around her. The dreams she had once had as a little girl seemed shattered and broken, as if it were glass all around her, where she would tiptoe around, trying to not cut and bleed more than she already was from the inside. She felt as if she had been living a lie. And she had. She had been living a lie, but it wasn't necessarily the lies from other people. It was the lies that she was telling herself. Every time she would tell herself she wasn't good enough, it was a lie, but she would believe it. And every time she would tell herself that she didn't matter and what she did didn't matter, it was a lie, but she would believe it. And as she continued to believe these low energy phrases, darkness lived around her. One day, while at work, a person that she didn't recognize came right up to her as if they'd been long lost friends and asked how she'd been doing. "I've been so worried about you," they said. "All of the pain and the strife and everything that you've been through. Are things getting any better?" With her eyes wide open, she looked at this person in disbelief. She didn't even remember ever meeting them, let alone telling them so much about her life's situations. And suddenly it hit her that the words she was telling people were creating her reality. This is how people saw her, as a suffering, depressed woman going through a divorce, working 3 jobs, and a victim of life. But that wasn't what she wanted to be known for. She wanted to be known for being a strong and kind and loving woman. She thought about the words she was telling others and realized that the words she was telling herself held even more power over her life. She didn't like her reality. She was sick of it. She was so tired of feeling depressed and sad. She wanted to feel strong and happy and calm. So if the words were already creating her reality of depressive thoughts, she decided right then and there to change them, to change the words that she was speaking to others and to herself. She started focusing on what she was grateful for instead of what was hard and painful. Instead of focusing on all that had happened to her, she started to see everything as a gift that was happening for her. One day, while at work, she told herself she was amazing, and it was true. And she began to believe it. She told herself she was strong, and it was true. And she believed it. She told herself she could rise above it, and it was true, and she believed it. She began to believe in herself. She began to forgive herself. She began to love herself. And everything changed because of the words she spoke. That woman was me. So again, let me ask, what kind of house do you live in? Do you feel trapped? Do you feel like you're a prisoner of your thoughts? So let's take a deep breath in, real quick. Deep breath in. And let it go. Now, what kind of house do you want to live in? Focus on the words that you think and say. Focus on how those words make you feel. And focus on creating the reality of your dreams. It all starts with the words. And focus on love, because that is the key. The key is love. The key that unlocks the door to all change is love. Peace.